Tears of joy at the United Nations in New York on Saturday as delegates agreed on an international treaty to make the exploitation of resources on the high seas sustainable, after what one scientist reportedly called the most important international negotiations that no one has ever heard of. What happened at the UN is likely to have far-reaching impacts across the globe, experts say, not least for fishers in Africa like Abdullah Hussein Mohammed, who lives on Sudan's coast in Port Sudan. Abdullah also helps run the local fish market. He says fish stocks across Africa have been diminishing for decades now, a fact supported by UN data. He and the entire community are suffering from the fallout.
The number of fish in the past was much larger. The sea was full of different species, but in recent years, the number has decreased by comparison. We have to travel longer and longer distances in search of fish.
The new treaty focuses on the high seas, any part of the ocean at least 200 miles from shore, which is usually inaccessible to Africa's artisanal fishers. Experts say that the preservation of the ecosystem in the high seas means more fish, and that some of the species that Mohammed says have all but disappeared would also now be found closer to land, where he works. Nicola Clark is with the Pew Charitable Trusts, an organisation that played a major part in the negotiations.
One of the cool things about this high seas treaty is even these marine protected areas would be established in international waters, coastal waters, and coastal nations can expect to see benefits.
African fishing communities play a crucial role in the continent's food security and economy. According to the World Bank, fisheries contribute $24 billion to the African economy. Michael Imran Kanu led the African delegation at the negotiations. He says aside from rising fish stock, there are other benefits for Africa, as a big part of the agreement was focused on sharing benefits equally among countries signing the treaty.
Actions taken to address the adverse impact of climate change, transfer of technology hopefully will take place in a meaningful way, capacity development to ensure that scientists are able to also participate.
However, the Pew Charitable Trusts said the new treaty is not a fix-all for overexploited fisheries. The new agreement will have to work with those existing bodies to ensure their activities do not undermine the conservation effectiveness. Liz Karan, Project Director Protecting Ocean Life on the High Seas, told VOA. For Mohammed's community and those like it throughout Africa, the promised benefits cannot come soon enough. Henry Wilkins for VOA News, Port Sudan, Sudan.